Kang Tae-ho was tired, his body hurt, his eyes felt heavy. He had been flying his cargo ship for 3 days without proper sleep. The delivery was finished now, and his ship sat safely in the docking bay of Horizon's Edge, the biggest trade station in this part of the galaxy. He walked through the crowded halls of the station. Aliens of every shape and size moved around him. Some had 4 arms. Some had scales. Some floated instead of walking. Tae-ho was used to all of this. He had been a cargo pilot for 6 years. Nothing surprised him anymore. Well, almost nothing. He found a quiet bar near the observation deck. The place was half empty. Soft blue lights made everything look calm. Tae-ho sat at the counter and ordered the cheapest drink they had. He was not rich. Cargo pilots never were. That was when he saw her. She sat alone at a table near the window. The stars behind her made her look like she was glowing. Her skin was silver blue, smooth like water. Her hair was white and long, falling past her shoulders like moonlight. Her eyes were the strangest part. They were violet, bright and deep, like looking into a purple sunset. She was not human. That was obvious. But she was beautiful in a way Tae-ho had never seen before. He noticed 2 guards standing far away from her. They wore armor and carried weapons. But they did not sit with her. They just watched. That was strange. Why would someone with guards sit alone? Tae-ho tried to look away. He was just a simple pilot. A woman like that was way out of his reach. He drank his cheap drink and stared at the counter. But then he felt someone standing next to him. He looked up. It was her. She was tall, much taller than him. Her violet eyes looked down at him with curiosity. Not judgment, not disgust, just pure curiosity. "You are human," she said. Her voice was soft and smooth. It sounded like music. Tae-ho blinked. Yeah, last time I checked." She smiled. It was a small smile, but it changed her whole face. She looked warmer now, less like a statue, and more like a real person. "May I sit with you?" she asked. Tae-ho looked around. The bar was half empty. There were many other seats. Why would she want to sit with him? "Sure," he said, "but I should warn you, I am not very interesting." She sat down next to him. Her movements were graceful, like flowing water. "I disagree. Humans are very interesting. I have studied your species for many years." Tae-ho raised an eyebrow. "Studied? Like in school?" "Yes. Your people are young, compared to others in the galaxy. But you grow fast. You adapt. You survive things that should kill you. That is fascinating." Tae-ho laughed. "I think you are giving us too much credit. Most of us are just trying to pay rent." She tilted her head. "What is rent?" He stared at her. Then he realized she was serious. Whoever she was, she had never worried about money in her life. "Never mind," he said. "So, what is your name?" "I am Vela," she said. "And you?" "Kang Tae-ho. Just a cargo pilot. Nothing special." Vela looked at him for a long moment. Her eyes seemed to see right through him. "I do not think that is true," she said. They talked for hours. Tae-ho forgot about his tiredness. He forgot about his empty wallet. He just talked. He told her about Earth, about his childhood in Busan, about his dreams of flying through space. She listened to every word like it was the most important thing in the universe. In return, she told him about her people, the Lunari. They lived on a moon far away. They valued honor, tradition, and emotional bonds. They believed that feelings were sacred and words had power. "Your people sound very serious," Tae-ho said. Vela nodded. "We are. Perhaps too serious. That is why I find humans refreshing. You laugh easily. You speak freely. You do not hide your hearts." Tae-ho smiled. "That is a nice way to say we talk too much." She laughed. It was a soft, gentle sound. Tae-ho felt his heart skip a beat. The hours passed quickly. The bar grew emptier. The guards still watched from a distance. But they did not interrupt. Tae-ho wondered who Vela really was. She had guards, She spoke like royalty. But she treated him like an equal. Finally, Vela looked at him with a serious expression. "Teho," she said, "may I ask you something personal?" He shrugged. "Sure, go ahead. What do you think of me?" Teho paused. That was a strange question. He barely knew her. But something about her made him want to be honest. "I think you are amazing," he said. "You are beautiful, smart, and kind. You listen to my boring stories for hours without complaining." "Honestly," he laughed, "if you proposed to me right now, I would accept." He was joking. Of course he was joking. It was a silly thing to say. He expected her to laugh or roll her eyes, but she did not laugh. Her violet eyes grew wide, her lips parted slightly. She leaned closer to him, so close that he could feel her breath on his face. "Then accept it," she whispered. Before Teho could say anything, she reached into her robe and pulled out a small pendant. It was silver, shaped like a crescent moon, and it glowed with soft light. She placed it around his neck. The pendant felt warm against his chest. It pulsed like a heartbeat. "What is this?" Teho asked, confused. Vela smiled. But this time, her smile was different. It was deeper, more meaningful. "It is the Lunari bonding mark. By accepting it, you have agreed to be my partner." Teho froze. "Wait. What?" "In my culture, words have power. You said you would accept my proposal. I proposed. You accepted. We are now engaged." Teho's brain stopped working. He opened his mouth, but no words came out. Engaged? To an alien woman he just met? Because of a joke? "This has to be a mistake," he said. "I was just joking." Vela tilted her head. "Joking? I do not understand. Your words were clear. Your emotions were honest. I felt them through the bond." She touched the pendant on his chest. It glowed brighter at her touch. "This cannot be undone easily," she said. "The bond is sacred. Breaking it would require great cause." "Breaking it would require great cause." Teho stared at her. His heart was beating fast. This was insane. This was completely insane. But as he looked into her violet eyes, he saw something unexpected. She was not angry. She was not tricking him. She was hopeful. Almost shy. She actually wanted this. "Vela," he said slowly. "Really?" She hesitated. Then she answered. "I am the third daughter of the Lunari High Matriarch. In your words, I am a princess." Teho felt the ground disappear beneath his feet. He had just accidentally gotten engaged to alien royalty, and he had no idea how to undo it. Teho woke up in his small cabin on the cargo ship. His head hurt. His mouth was dry. For a moment, he thought everything was a dream. The beautiful alien woman, the strange conversation, the glowing pendant. Then he looked down at his chest. The pendant was still there. It glowed softly against his skin, pulsing like a heartbeat. It was warm. It felt alive. "No," Teho whispered. "No, no, no." He grabbed the pendant and tried to pull it off, but it would not move. It was stuck to him like it was part of his body. The door to his cabin burst open. Yoon Hana stood there with wide eyes. She was his co-pilot and best friend. They had worked together for 4 years. She knew him better than anyone. "Teho," she said. Her voice was sharp. "What did you do?" "What?" "I did not do anything." She grabbed his arm and dragged him to the common room. Park Sung-min was already there. He was the ship's engineer. A quiet man who rarely spoke. But right now, even he looked shocked. Hana pointed at the large screen on the wall. A news broadcast was playing. The headline made Teho's heart stop. "Breaking news. Lunari Princess Vela announces engagement to human male." The screen showed a picture of Vela. Next to her was a picture of Teho, his official pilot ID photo. He looked tired and confused in that photo, which was accurate. "This is everywhere," Hana said. Every station, every channel, every planet. The whole galaxy knows. Taeho sat down slowly. His legs felt weak. This cannot be happening. It is happening, Hana said. Now explain. How did you get engaged to a Lunari princess in one night? Taeho told them everything. The bar, the conversation, the joke, the pendant. When he finished, Hana stared at him like he was the stupidest person in the universe. You said you would accept her proposal, she repeated. As a joke. Yes. And she took it seriously. Yes. And now you are engaged to alien royalty. Yes. Hana closed her eyes and took a deep breath. I am going to kill you. That is fair. Sungmin spoke for the first time. Can you return the pendant? End the engagement? Taeho nodded. That is what I will do. I will find Vela and explain. It was a misunderstanding. She will understand. He stood up and walked toward the door. But before he could leave, someone knocked. Hana opened the door. A tall alien woman stood outside. She had silver blue skin like Vela, but she looked older and more serious. She wore formal robes and carried a small tablet in her hands. I am Advisor Kira, she said. Her voice was cold and proper. I serve Princess Vela. I am here to speak with Kang Taeho. Taeho stepped forward. That is me. Look, I need to talk to Vela. This whole thing is a mistake. I did not mean to. Kira raised her hand. Stop. I know what you want. You want to reject the bond. Return the pendant. Pretend this never happened. Yes, exactly. Kira's expression did not change. That is not possible. What do you mean? She walked inside the ship without asking permission. She looked around at the small, messy common room. Her face showed no emotion, but Taeho could feel her judgment. The bonding mark is sacred, Kira explained. It connects two souls. Rejecting it is not like ending a human relationship. In Lunari culture, rejecting a bond is a grave insult. It means saying the other person is worthless, undeserving of love. Taeho frowned. But I did not know that. It was an accident. It does not matter. The bond exists. If you reject it publicly, you will insult Princess Vela. You will insult the entire Lunari royal family. It could cause a diplomatic incident between Earth and the Lunari Empire. Hana stepped forward. Are you threatening us? Kira looked at her calmly. I am explaining reality. The Lunari Empire is old and powerful. Earth is young and small. If this situation is handled poorly, there could be consequences. Trade agreements could be cancelled. Alliances could be broken. The room fell silent. Taeho felt sick. He had made a joke. One stupid joke. And now it could cause problems between two civilizations. What am I supposed to do? He asked. Kira's expression softened slightly. Just a little. Princess Vela has a request. She asks that you meet with her again. Not to break the bond, but to understand it. Understand it? She wants to court you properly. In the Lunari way. She asks for a trial period. 1 month. During this time, you will learn about our culture. You will spend time with her. After 1 month, if you still wish to end the bond, she will find a way to do it quietly, without insult, without diplomatic problems. Taeho thought about it. 1 month. That was not so long. And if it could fix this mess without causing bigger problems, maybe it was worth trying. Fine, he said. I agree to the trial period. Kira nodded. Good. Princess Vela will be pleased. She turned to leave, then stopped at the door. One more thing. The princess asked me to tell you something. What? For the first time, Kira's cold expression cracked. A tiny smile appeared on her lips. She said your stories were not boring. She enjoyed them very much. Then she left. Hana looked at Taeho. This is insane. You know that, right? I know. You are going to spend a month being courted by an alien princess. I know. This sounds like a bad drama. Taeho sighed. I know. He looked down at the pendant on his chest. It was still glowing. Still warm. still pulsing like a heartbeat. He thought about Vela, her violet eyes, her gentle smile, the way she listened to him like he mattered. Part of him wanted to run away, forget all of this, go back to his simple life as a cargo pilot. But another part of him was curious. Why did she choose him? Out of all the beings in the galaxy, why a simple human? He remembered what she said about humans, that they were unpredictable, that they adapted, that they survived. Maybe she saw something in him that he could not see in himself, or maybe she was just crazy. Either way, he was stuck with her for 1 month. He might as well make the best of it. Hana walked up beside him. For the record, I think this is a terrible idea. Noted. But also, she added quietly, she is very beautiful. Taeho smiled. Also noted. Sungmin spoke again from the corner. I think she likes you. Really likes you. The way she looked at you in that news broadcast was not political. It was personal. Taeho remembered Vela's eyes when she placed the pendant on him. The hope in them. The shyness. Maybe Sungmin was right. Maybe this was not just a political mistake. Maybe it was something more. But Taeho pushed that thought away. He was just a cargo pilot. She was a princess. There was no future between them. He just had to survive 1 month. Then he could go back to his normal life. At least, that was what he told himself. Deep down, he was not so sure. The first gift arrived the next morning. Taeho was eating breakfast in the common room when Hana called him to the docking bay. He walked outside and stopped. His mouth fell open. A brand new starship sat in front of him. It was sleek and beautiful, silver and blue, like Vela's skin. It was 10 times bigger than his old cargo ship. 10 times more expensive. Probably worth more money than he would make in 100 lifetimes. A Lunari worker handed him a small card. It read, "For my intended. May your journeys be swift and safe. Vela." Taeho stared at the ship. Then at the card. Then at the ship again. I cannot accept this, he said. The worker looked confused. Princess Vela was very clear. This is a courtship gift. Refusing it would be impolite. Hana appeared beside him. Her eyes were wide. Taeho, that is a Lunari Nova-class cruiser. Do you know how much those cost? No, neither do I. Because normal people cannot afford to know. Taeho rubbed his face. This was only day 1. What else was Vela planning? He found out quickly. On day 3, she arranged a banquet in his honor. It was held in the Grand Hall of Horizon's Edge. Hundreds of guests attended. Diplomats, merchants, nobles from different species. All of them came to meet the human who had captured a Lunari princess's heart. Taeho wore his cleanest clothes, which were still not very clean. He felt out of place among all the fancy aliens. But Vela stayed by his side the whole night. She introduced him to everyone. She spoke about him with pride, like he was someone special. This is Kang Taeho, she would say. He is brave, honest, and kind. I am honored to have him as my intended. Taeho did not feel brave or special. He felt like a fraud. But every time he looked at Vela, she smiled at him. A real smile. Warm and genuine. On day 7, things got even crazier. A Lunari noble named Lord Dane approached Vela at a public event. He was tall and handsome, with cold blue eyes. He looked at Taeho like he was looking at an insect. Princess Vela, Lord Dane said. Surely you are not serious about this human. He is weak. He has no status, no power, no honor. You deserve better. Taeho expected Vela to stay calm. She always seemed calm. But her eyes turned cold. Her voice turned sharp. You insult my intended, she said. That is the same as insulting me. You, Lord Dane laughed. I am simply speaking the truth. If you disagree, then prove it. I challenge the human for your hand. A duel. Traditional rules. The crowd gasped. Taeho felt his stomach drop. A duel? Against a Lunari noble? But before he could speak, Vela stepped forward. I accept your challenge. she said. But not him. Me. Lord Dane blinked. You? Yes. In Lunari tradition, an intended can fight on behalf of their partner. I choose to fight for Taeho. Unless you are afraid to face me? Lord Dane's face turned red. He could not back down now. Not in front of everyone. Fine. I accept. The duel happened immediately. They used energy blades, glowing weapons that hummed with power. Taeho watched with fear in his heart. He did not need to worry. Vela moved like water. Like wind. Like something not entirely real. She dodged every attack. She struck with perfect precision. In less than 2 minutes, Lord Dane was on the ground. Defeated, Vela stood over him, her blade pointed at his throat. Do you yield? Do you yield? I yield, he whispered. She lowered her weapon and walked back to Taeho. Her expression was calm again. Gentle again. Like nothing had happened. Are you okay? She asked him. Taeho stared at her. You just destroyed a noble in a duel. For me. Yes. Why? She tilted her head. Because you are my intended. Protecting you is my duty and my honor. Taeho did not know what to say. No one had ever fought for him before. No one had ever thought he was worth fighting for. The days continued to pass. Vela kept courting him. She took him to see the stars from observation decks. She taught him about Lunari history and poetry. She listened to his stories about Earth, about his childhood, about his dreams. She never made him feel small. She never made him feel stupid. She treated him like an equal. Even though she was royalty and he was nobody, Taeho tried to keep his distance. He reminded himself that this was just a trial period. That he would leave after 1 month. That there was no future between them, but it was getting harder to believe that. One night, they sat together on the observation deck. The stars filled the window like diamonds on black velvet. Vela was quiet. She seemed thoughtful. Taeho, she said softly. Can I ask you something? Sure. Why do you keep trying to leave? He looked at her. What do you mean? I see it in your eyes. Every time we get close, you pull away. You remind yourself that this is temporary, that you do not belong here. She paused. Do you really want to leave that badly? Taeho was silent for a moment. Then he sighed. It is not that I want to leave. It is that I do not understand why you want me to stay. I told you, I find humans fascinating, but I am not all humans. I am just me. A cargo pilot with no money and no future. You are a princess. You could have anyone in the galaxy. Why me? Vela looked at him. Her violet eyes were deep and serious. Because you see me. What? Everyone else sees the princess, the title, the power. They want my status, my connections, my family's influence. She shook her head. But you? When we first met, you did not know who I was. You talked to me like I was just a person. You made me laugh. You were honest. You did not try to impress me or use me. She reached out and touched his hand. That is rare, Taeho, more rare than you know. In my whole life, no one has treated me the way you did that night. Taeho felt his heart beating faster. Her hand was warm. Her eyes were soft. I am not asking you to love me, Vela said. I am just asking you to give this a real chance. Not because of politics. Not because of the bond. But because maybe, just maybe, we could be happy together. Taeho looked at her. He thought about the past week, the gifts, the banquet, the duel, but also the quiet moments, the conversations, the laughter. He thought about how she smiled at him, how she listened to him, how she fought for him. Maybe Sungmin was right. Maybe this was not just politics. Maybe it was something real. Vela, he said slowly, I need to ask you something too. Yes? When I made that joke in the bar, you could have ignored it. You could have laughed and walked away. But you chose to take it seriously. Why? Did you plan this? Vela was silent for a moment. Then she smiled. a little embarrassed. I did not plan it. But when you said those words, I felt something. Your emotions were honest. Your heart was open, and I thought to myself, maybe this is fate. Maybe the universe brought us together for a reason. She squeezed his hand. I know it sounds foolish, but Lunari believe in fate. We believe that some bonds are written in the stars. Tejo looked at the stars outside the window. Then he looked at her. Maybe you are right, he said quietly. Maybe some things are meant to be. Vela's eyes lit up with hope. Does that mean you will stay? He smiled. Ask me again at the end of the month. She laughed softly. I will. They sat together in comfortable silence, watching the stars. Tejo still had doubts. He still had fears. But for the first time, he also had hope. Maybe this crazy situation could become something beautiful. Maybe he had found where he belonged. 3 weeks had passed since the bonding. Tejo was starting to feel comfortable. Maybe too comfortable. He should have known that peace never lasts. The news came on a quiet morning. Advisor Kira arrived at their ship with a dark expression on her face. She did not waste time with greetings. There is a problem, she said. A serious one. Tejo, Hana, and Sungmin gathered around her. Vela was not there. She had been called away for a royal meeting earlier that day. What kind of problem? Tejo asked. Kira handed him a tablet. On the screen was a face he did not recognize, a Lunari male. He was handsome in a cold way, with sharp features and silver hair. His eyes were dark purple, almost black. This is Lord Vaughn, Kira explained. He is one of the most powerful nobles in the Lunari Empire. He controls vast territories and has strong connections to the High Council. Tejo frowned. Okay. What does he have to do with me? He wanted to marry Princess Vela. For years, he has been trying to arrange a political union between their families. When he heard about your engagement, he was furious. Hana crossed her arms. So what? Vela already chose Tejo. This Lord Vaughn lost. He should accept it. Kira shook her head. You do not understand Lunari politics. Lord Vaughn does not accept defeat. He has invoked an ancient law, the right of challenge. What does that mean? It means he can challenge Tejo's worthiness. If Tejo cannot prove himself, the engagement will be void. Vela will be forced to consider other suitors. Kira paused, including Lord Vaughn. Tejo felt cold. He can just do that? Challenge our engagement? Times come. The law is old, but it still exists. It was created long ago, when bonds were sometimes formed hastily. It allows outsiders to test whether an intended is truly worthy. And if I refuse the challenge, Kira's expression darkened. Then you admit unworthiness. The engagement ends immediately. And worse, it would shame Princess Vela. It would say that she chose poorly, that her judgment is weak. Tejo understood now. This was a trap. If he accepted the challenge and failed, he lost Vela. If he refused, he still lost Vela, and shamed her in front of everyone. There was no easy way out. What is the challenge? He asked. The trial of resonance. It is an ancient test. 3 parts. Mind, body, and spirit. Each part will push you to your limits. Many Lunari have failed this trial. For a human, it will be even harder. Hana stepped forward. This is ridiculous. Tejo is not a warrior. He is not a psychic. He is a cargo pilot. How can he compete against Lunari standards? He cannot, Kira said bluntly. That is the point. Lord Vaughn chose this challenge because he knows Tejo will fail. He wants to humiliate him publicly. The room fell silent. Tejo stared at the floor. His mind was racing. He thought about running away. He thought about giving up. He thought about going back to his simple life. But then he thought about Vela, her smile, her laughter, the way she looked at him like he was worth something, the way she fought Lord Dane for his honor, without hesitation. She had stood up for him. Could he do any less for her? The door opened. Vela walked in. Her face was pale. Her eyes were red, like she had been crying. She looked at Tejo with an expression he had never seen before. Fear. Not fear of Lord Vaughn. Not fear of politics. Fear of losing him. Tejo, she said quietly. I am so sorry. I tried to stop this. I argued with the council for hours. But the law is clear. They cannot reject Lord Vaughn's challenge. I know, Tejo said. Kira explained everything. Vela walked closer to him. Her hands were shaking. You do not have to do this. If you refuse, I will find another way. I will not let you be hurt because of me. If I refuse, you will be shamed. I do not care about shame. I care about you. Tejo looked at her. Really looked at her. In that moment, he saw everything. Her love. Her fear. Her willingness to sacrifice her reputation just to protect him. This was real. Whatever was between them, it was real. He took her hands. They were cold. He held them tight. Vela, he said, I am going to accept the challenge. Her eyes widened. What? No. You cannot. The trial is dangerous. You could get hurt. You could... I know the risks, he interrupted. But I am not going to let Lord Vaughn win. I am not going to let him take you away. And I am definitely not going to run away while you suffer. Because of me. But you are human. The trial was not designed for humans. Tejo smiled. Maybe that is my advantage. Vela stared at him. Tears fell from her violet eyes. You would do this? For me? I told you I would accept your proposal. I meant it. He wiped her tears with his thumb. Besides, humans are stubborn. We do not know when to quit. Maybe that is what this trial needs. Vela laughed through her tears. It was a broken, beautiful sound. She wrapped her arms around him and held him tight. Thank you, she whispered. Thank you. Tejo held her back. He could feel her heartbeat against his chest. It matched the pulse of the pendant between them. Hana watched them with a complicated expression. Then she sighed. Well, if you are going to do this, you need to prepare. When is the trial? Kira answered. 1 week. It will be held on Horizon's edge. The entire galaxy will be watching. 1 week. That was not much time. Sung Min spoke up. I will help. I have read about Lunari trials before. The mind test involves a psychic maze. It responds to thoughts and emotions. Lunari are trained to stay calm and focused. And humans? Tejo asked. Sung Min smiled slightly. Humans are chaotic, unpredictable. That might actually confuse the maze. Hana nodded. The body test is probably combat. Tejo, you are not a fighter. But you grew up on the streets of Busan. You know how to survive. You know how to fight dirty. That is not exactly honorable. Honor does not win fights. Survival does. Tejo thought about it. Maybe they were right. Maybe his human nature was not a weakness. Maybe it was a strength. Vela pulled back and looked at him. Her eyes were still wet. But there was hope in them now. The final test is spirit. You must project your true feelings through the bond. If your feelings are honest, the mark will glow. If they are false, it will shatter. And what happens if it shatters? Then Lord Vaughn wins. Tejo looked down at the pendant on his chest. It glowed softly, warmly. He thought about his feelings for Vela. Were they real? He remembered their first meeting, the long conversations, the gifts, the duel, the quiet moments under the stars. Yes, his feelings were real. He was not sure when it happened. But somewhere along the way, he had fallen for her. He was not going to let anyone take her away. I will pass the trial, he said. All 3 parts. Vela smiled. I believe you. Then let us get to work, Hana said. We have 1 week to turn a cargo pilot into a champion. Tejo took a deep breath. This was crazy. This was impossible. But he had faced impossible things before. He was human. and humans did not know when to quit. Lord Vaughn wanted a fight? He was going to get one. The arena was massive. Thousands of beings from across the galaxy filled the seats. Humans, Lunari, and dozens of other species watched with curious eyes. Cameras floated everywhere, broadcasting the event to billions of viewers. Tejo stood at the center of the arena. He wore simple clothes, no armor, no weapons, just himself. Across from him stood Lord Vaughn. The Lunari noble looked confident. His dark purple eyes stared at Tejo with contempt. He clearly expected an easy victory. The announcer's voice echoed through the arena. Today, we witness the trial of resonance. Kang Tejo of Earth will prove his worth as the intended of Princess Vela. The challenger is Lord Vaughn of House Kael. Tejo looked up at the royal balcony. Vela sat there with her mother, the High Matriarch. Vela's face was calm, but Tejo could see her hands gripping the armrests. She was scared. He gave her a small nod. She nodded back. The announcer continued. The trial has 3 parts: mind, body, spirit. Let us begin with the first trial. The test of mind. The floor of the arena shifted. Walls rose from the ground, forming a massive maze. The walls were not solid. They shimmered like liquid silver. The psychic maze, the announcer explained. The participant must find the exit. The maze responds to thoughts and emotions. Fear makes it grow. Doubt makes it shift. Only a clear mind can find the way. Lord Vaughn smirked. Good luck, human. Your chaotic minds are famous. You will be lost in there forever. Tejo did not respond. He just walked into the maze. The moment he entered, everything changed. The walls moved. They twisted and shifted around him. Every time he thought he found a path, it disappeared. Every time he felt confident, the maze changed. He understood now. The maze fed on emotions. If he stayed calm, it would stay still. If he got angry or scared, it would become impossible. But Lunari were trained for this. Humans were not. Tejo tried to clear his mind, but thoughts kept coming. Worries about failing. Fears about losing Vela. Doubts about himself. The maze grew larger. The walls closed in. Then he remembered what Sung Min said. Humans are chaotic. That might actually confuse the maze. He stopped trying to be calm. Instead, he let his thoughts run wild. He thought about everything at once. His childhood. His favorite foods. Random songs from Earth. Bad jokes, Hana told him. The smell of rain in Busan. He thought about nothing and everything. His mind became a storm of random, meaningless thoughts. The maze shuddered. The walls flickered. They could not adapt to his chaos. They did not know what to do with a mind that made no sense. Tejo started running. He did not think about direction. He just moved. Left, right, straight. Random choices. The maze could not predict him because he could not predict himself. Suddenly, he burst out of the exit. The arena erupted in gasps. The announcer's voice was shocked. Incredible! Kang Tejo has completed the psychic maze in record time. His unpredictable human mind confused the maze itself. Lord Vaughn's confident expression cracked. He stared at Tejo with disbelief. Tejo caught his breath. 1 down. 2 to go. The second trial began immediately. The floor cleared, and 2 energy blades rose from pedestals. They glowed with soft blue light. The test of body, the announcer said. Combat until one participant yields or cannot continue. Lord Vaughn grabbed his blade with practiced ease. He had trained for this his whole life. His movements were perfect, elegant, deadly. Tejo picked up his blade. It felt strange in his hands. He had never used a weapon like this before. Lord Vaughn attacked immediately. He was fast. Faster than Tejo expected. The blade came at him like lightning. Tejo barely dodged. He stumbled backward, almost falling. The crowd murmured. This was what they expected. A human could not match a Lunari warrior. Lord Von pressed his attack. Slash after slash. Each one precise. Each one deadly. Taeho blocked some, dodged others. But he was getting hit. Small cuts appeared on his arms and legs. Give up, human, Lord Von said. You cannot win this. Accept defeat with dignity. Taeho was bleeding. His muscles burned. Every part of him screamed to stop, but he remembered Hana's words. Honor does not win fights. Survival does. He stopped trying to fight properly. Instead, he fought dirty. When Lord Von lunged at him, Taeho threw sand in his eyes. Real sand. He had hidden some in his pocket before the trial. Lord Von stumbled, temporarily blinded. Taeho kicked his knee. Hard. Lord Von fell. Taeho grabbed his blade and pressed it against Lord Von's throat. The arena went silent. Lord Von stared at him with fury. That was dishonorable. You cheated. Taeho smiled through his bleeding lips. Show me the rule that says I cannot use sand. The announcer checked with the judges. After a moment, he spoke. There is no rule against environmental tools. The victory stands. Kang Taeho wins the test of body. The crowd exploded. Some cheered, some booed, but everyone was shocked. A human had just defeated a trained Lunari warrior. Lord Von stood up slowly. His eyes burned with hatred. You won nothing. The final test will destroy you. Taeho did not respond. He was too tired, too hurt. But he was still standing. 2 down, 1 to go. The final trial was different. No maze. No combat. Just Taeho standing alone in the center of the arena. The test of spirit, the announcer said. The participant must project his true feelings through the bonding mark. If his emotions are honest, the mark will shine. If they are false, it will shatter. And if it shatters, the engagement is void. Taeho touched the pendant on his chest. It was warm. Alive. Lord Von spoke from the sidelines. This is where you fail, human. You cannot fake emotions. The mark will reveal the truth. You never loved her. You were just trapped by accident. Taeho closed his eyes. He thought about Lord Von's words. Were they true? Was he just here by accident? Yes. The beginning was an accident. A joke. A mistake. But what came after? He thought about Vela. Really thought about her. Her smile when he told a bad joke. Her patience when he asked stupid questions. Her strength when she faced Lord Dane. Her tears when she thought she might lose him. He thought about the quiet nights on the observation deck. The conversations that lasted for hours. The way she made him feel seen, valued, important. He thought about how scared he was right now. Not scared of failing. Scared of losing her, because somewhere along the way, the accident became real. He loved her. The pendant began to glow. It started soft. Then it grew brighter, and brighter, and brighter still. The light filled the entire arena. It was blinding. Beautiful. Like a star being born. The crowd gasped. Even the judges looked stunned. The announcer's voice was awed. The bonding mark shines brighter than any recorded in history. The emotions are not just honest. They are powerful, deep, true. Lord Von's face went pale. That is impossible. He is human. Humans cannot bond like Lunari. But the light did not lie. Taeho opened his eyes. He looked up at Vela. She was crying again. But this time, they were tears of joy. The announcer made it official. Kang Taeho has passed all 3 trials. He has proven his worth. The engagement stands. The arena erupted in cheers. For the first time, everyone saw the truth. A human had not just survived the trial. He had dominated it. Lord Von turned and left without a word. His plan had failed. His humiliation was complete. Taeho fell to his knees. He was exhausted, bleeding, barely conscious, but he was smiling. He heard footsteps running toward him. Then Vela was there, holding him, crying into his shoulder. You did it. she whispered. You actually did it. I told you, he said weakly. Humans do not know when to quit. She laughed through her tears. No, you do not. She helped him stand. Together, they faced the cheering crowd. A human had just proven himself worthy of a Lunari princess, and the galaxy would never see humanity the same way again. The news spread like wildfire across the galaxy. Every station, every planet, every species, they all talked about the same thing. A human cargo pilot had defeated a Lunari noble in the trial of resonance. He had confused a psychic maze with his chaotic thoughts. He had beaten a trained warrior by fighting dirty, and his emotions had made the bonding mark shine brighter than ever recorded. Tejo became famous overnight. He did not want the fame. He just wanted to rest. The trial had nearly killed him. His body was covered in bandages. His muscles ached with every movement. But the galaxy would not let him be quiet. Requests poured in from everywhere. News stations wanted interviews. Politicians wanted meetings. Companies wanted sponsorships. Everyone wanted a piece of the human who had proven himself. Hana handled most of it. She became his unofficial manager. She rejected the bad offers and considered the good ones. She protected him from the chaos. You are an idiot, she told him one day. But at least you are a famous idiot now. Tejo laughed. Thanks, I think. Sung-min was quieter. But he showed his support in his own way. He fixed up their old cargo ship. Made it run better than ever. In case you ever want to go back to normal life, he said. But Tejo knew there was no going back to normal. Not anymore. The biggest change was how other species looked at humans. Before the trial, humans were seen as young, primitive, a minor species in a galaxy full of ancient civilizations. They were tolerated, not respected. After the trial, everything shifted. If one human could match the Lunari trials, what else could humans do? They were unpredictable, adaptable. They did not follow the rules that other species followed. They found creative solutions. They refused to give up. That was terrifying to some, exciting to others. Earth's government reached out to Tejo. They had been furious about the engagement at first. They thought he had caused a diplomatic mess. But now they saw an opportunity. A human woman in a formal suit appeared on his screen. She was a diplomat. High-ranking. Mr. Kang, she said, what you have done is remarkable. You have changed how the galaxy sees humanity. We would like to support you. Tejo frowned. Support me how? The Lunari Empire is opening new trade routes, new alliance discussions. They respect you. They listen to you. We believe you can help bridge our two civilizations. You want me to be a diplomat? She smiled. We want you to be yourself. That seems to work very well. Very well. Tejo thought about it. He was not a politician. He was not a diplomat. He was just a cargo pilot who told too many jokes, but maybe that was exactly what humanity needed. Not someone formal and proper. Someone real. I will think about it, he said. The diplomat nodded. Take your time. And congratulations on your engagement. Princess Vela is lucky to have you. After the call ended, Hana looked at him. Are you going to do it? Become some kind of ambassador? I do not know. It sounds complicated. Everything about your life is complicated now. That was true. A few days later, Tejo walked to the observation deck of Horizon's Edge. He needed time alone. Time to think, but he was not alone. Vela was there. She stood by the window, watching the stars. Her silver-blue skin glowed softly in the starlight. She looked peaceful, beautiful. She turned when she heard him approach. Her violet eyes lit up with warmth. Tejo, she said, I was hoping you would come. He walked to stand beside her. How did you know I would be here? I did not know. I just hoped. She smiled. I wanted to talk to you. Privately. Without advisors or cameras. What did you want to talk about? She was quiet for a moment. Then she spoke. I want you to know something. If you want to leave, I will not stop you. Tejo blinked. What? The trial is over. You proved yourself. Lord Vaughn is gone. There is no more political pressure. She looked at him with serious eyes. If you stayed only because you felt trapped, you do not have to stay anymore. I will end the engagement quietly. No shame. No consequences. Tejo stared at her. You would do that? After everything? Yes. Her voice was soft. Because I love you. And love means wanting you to be happy. Even if that happiness is not with me. Tejo felt his heart clench. She was giving him an exit. A clean escape. She was willing to let him go. Even though it would hurt her, that was true love. Selfless. Pure. He reached out and took her hand. It was warm against his skin. Vila, he said. I am not joking anymore. Not since a long time ago. She looked at him with hope in her eyes. What do you mean? I mean I want to stay. Not because of politics. Not because of the bond. Because of you. He squeezed her hand. You saw something in me before I saw it in myself. You believed in me when I did not believe in myself. You fought for me. You cried for me. He stepped closer to her. I do not want to leave. I want to be with you. For real. Forever. Tears fell from Vela's eyes. She smiled through them. Do you mean it? I have never meant anything more in my life. She threw her arms around him and held him tight. He held her back. The pendant between them glowed brightly, warm with shared emotion. They stood like that for a long time. Two people from different worlds, holding each other under the stars. Finally, Vela pulled back. She wiped her tears and laughed softly. You know what this means? We have to plan a wedding. A real one. With ceremonies and guests and all of that? Tejo groaned. More attention? More cameras? Much more. The whole galaxy will watch. Can we elope instead? Vela laughed. My mother would kill us both. Tejo sighed. Fine. But I am not wearing anything uncomfortable. We will see about that. They walked together, hand in hand, away from the observation deck. The stars watched them go. Tejo thought about everything that had happened. The accident, the proposal, the courtship, the trial. All of it had led to this moment. He had started as a nobody. A cargo pilot with no money and no future. Now he was going to marry a princess. He had become a symbol for humanity. He had changed how the galaxy saw his species, all because of a joke. Life was strange, unpredictable, chaotic, just like humans. And maybe that was the point. Maybe humanity's greatest strength was not power or technology. It was the ability to adapt, to surprise, to turn accidents into opportunities. Tejo smiled to himself. Humanity. What a weird, wonderful species, and he was proud to be one of them. The Lunari homeworld was nothing like Tejo expected. He had imagined cold metal buildings and strict formal cities, but the planet was beautiful. Silver forests covered the land. Crystal lakes reflected the light of two moons. The air smelled sweet, like flowers after rain. The royal palace sat on a mountain overlooking everything. It was ancient and elegant, built from white stone that seemed to glow. Millions of Lunari lived in the cities below, and today, all of them were celebrating. The first human Lunari wedding in history. Tejo stood in a preparation room inside the palace. He wore formal Lunari robes, silver and blue. They were surprisingly comfortable. Vela had made sure of that. Hana stood beside him, adjusting his collar. She wore formal clothes too, though she complained about them constantly. I cannot believe this is happening, she muttered. My idiot friend is marrying a princess. Tejo smiled. I cannot believe it either. Sung Min sat quietly in the corner. He had traveled all the way here to witness the ceremony. He looked proud. You have come a long way from that cargo ship, he said. We all have. A knock came at the door. Advisor Kira entered. She looked different today. Softer. Almost happy. It is time, she said. The ceremony is about to begin. Tejo took a deep breath. His heart was racing. He had faced a psychic maze. He had fought a Lunari warrior. But nothing scared him more than this. Hana punched his shoulder. "Stop looking so nervous. You already won. This is just the celebration. Easy for you to say. You are not the one getting married." Kira smiled slightly. "Princess Vela is nervous too, if that helps." It did help. A little. Taeho followed Kira through the palace halls. Every step brought him closer to the ceremony. Closer to his new life. The great hall was massive. Thousands of guests filled the seats. Lunari nobles, galactic diplomats, representatives from Earth. Cameras broadcasted the event to billions of viewers across the galaxy. At the end of the hall stood a raised platform. Flowers surrounded it. Soft light fell from crystal chandeliers above. And waiting on the platform were two figures. The High Matriarch of the Lunari. Vela's mother. She was tall and regal, with silver hair and eyes like frozen stars. She looked at Taeho with an expression he could not read, and beside her stood Vela. Taeho's breath caught in his throat. She was beautiful. More beautiful than he had ever seen her. She wore a white gown that flowed like water. Silver jewelry decorated her hair and neck. Her violet eyes glowed with happiness. She smiled when she saw him. That same warm smile he had fallen in love with. Taeho walked toward her. The crowd watched in silence. Every step felt like a lifetime. But he kept his eyes on her. Only her. He reached the platform and stood beside her. She took his hand. It was warm and steady. "You look handsome," she whispered. "You look amazing," he whispered back. The High Matriarch raised her hand. The hall fell completely silent. "We gather today to witness a bonding," she announced. Her voice echoed through the hall. "A union between two souls, two worlds, two civilizations." She looked at Taeho. Her gaze was sharp, evaluating. "Kang Taeho of Earth, you have proven yourself in the trial of resonance. You have shown mind, body, and spirit. But before this bonding is complete, you must answer one question." Taeho nodded. "I am ready. Do you offer yourself freely, with no deception, with no hidden purpose?" Taeho thought about the question. He thought about everything that had happened. The joke that started it all. The accident that changed his life, but also the truth that grew from that accident. The love that became real. He spoke clearly so everyone could hear. "I offered myself as a joke once. Now I offer myself for real. Because Vela saw something in me before I saw it in myself. She believed in me when I was just a cargo pilot with nothing. She fought for me. She cried for me. She was ready to let me go just to make me happy." He turned to look at Vela. Her eyes were shining with tears. "I do not deserve her," he continued. "But I will spend the rest of my life trying to be worthy. I offer myself freely, completely, forever." The hall was silent. Then the High Matriarch smiled. It was a small smile, but it transformed her face. She looked almost warm. "Your answer is accepted," she said. She turned to Vela. "Princess Vela, do you accept this human as your bonded partner? To stand beside him through all challenges? To share your life with his?" Vela squeezed Taeho's hand. "I do. With all my heart." The High Matriarch nodded. "Then let the bonding be complete." She gestured, and two servants brought forward a ceremonial box. Inside were two pendants, similar to the bonding mark Taeho already wore. But these were different. They were meant to replace the original mark with something permanent. The High Matriarch took the pendants. She placed one around Vela's neck and one around Taeho's. The old mark on his chest faded away as the new one took its place. "Focus your feelings," the High Matriarch instructed. "Let the bond seal." Taeho closed his eyes. He thought about Vela. Every moment they had shared. Every laugh. Every conversation. Every quiet night under the stars. He felt the pendant grow warm. He felt something connect, like a thread linking his heart to hers. When he opened his eyes, both pendants were glowing. The light rose from them and merged into a single beam that shone between Taeho and Vela. It was warm and golden, brighter than anything he had ever seen. The crowd gasped. The High Matriarch's eyes widened. "Remarkable," she whispered. "I have performed many bondings, but I have never seen a light so strong." The light slowly faded, but the warmth remained. Teho could feel Vela's emotions now. Her happiness, her love, her relief. She could feel his too. "The bonding is complete," the High Matriarch announced. "Kang Teho and Princess Vela are now partners for life." The hall erupted in applause. Thousands of voices cheered. Cameras flashed. Music began to play, but Teho barely noticed any of it. He was looking at Vela. She was looking at him. "We did it," she said softly. "We did." She leaned forward and kissed him. The crowd cheered even louder. The celebration lasted for hours. There was feasting and dancing and speeches. Guests from across the galaxy came to congratulate them. Diplomats spoke about the future of human-Lunari relations. Reporters asked endless questions. Hana raised a glass at one point. "To Teho," she said loudly. "The man who flirted his way into royalty." The crowd laughed. Teho's face turned red. Sungmin added quietly, "And who proved that humans are too stubborn to fail?" Later, when the noise died down, Teho and Vela stood on a balcony overlooking the palace gardens. The two moons hung in the sky, casting silver light over everything. Vela leaned against him. "Thank you," she said. "For what?" "For staying. For believing in us. For being you." Teho wrapped his arm around her. "Thank you for choosing me, even when I did not understand why." She smiled. "I chose well. You chose a guy who did not know what he was saying." She kissed his cheek. "And yet, you meant every word." They stood together in comfortable silence, watching the moons rise higher. Teho thought about his old life. The small cargo ship. The empty bank account. The lonely nights between deliveries. He had thought that was all he would ever have. Now he had more than he ever dreamed. A wife who loved him. A purpose that mattered. A place in the galaxy, all because of a joke he made in a bar. Life was funny that way. Unpredictable. Messy. Full of accidents that turned into miracles. That was the human way. And maybe it was not such a bad way after all. Vela looked up at him. "What are you thinking about?" He smiled. "About how lucky I am." "We are both lucky." He held her closer. The pendant on his chest glowed softly, matching the one on hers. Two souls, two worlds, one future. And somewhere across the galaxy, other humans heard their story. They learned that even a nobody from Earth could become something great. That humans were not minor or primitive. That they belonged among the stars. Teho did not know all of that yet. He did not know that his story would inspire generations. That his name would be taught in schools. That he would become a symbol of human potential. Right now, he only knew one thing. He was happy, and that was enough.